live?
Yes, sir.
We're live. They'll hear us.
All right, guys, what's up? So welcome to episode 5 of The Stigma Ends Here. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. Special show tonight. So I'm going to introduce myself. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Mike. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and addict.
What's up, man? I am Travis. I'm a grateful alcoholic addict. I'm here to have a lot of fun and let's have a good show. Excited to have this guy here with us this evening.
Oh, what's up, guys? I'm Fred. Nah, I'm kidding. What's up, guys? My name is B-Rain. REM 1 will be joining us here shortly. You know, he's out carrying a message right now at another church basement. And yeah, we're just here to share some hope.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it. It's been a highly anticipated show. We couldn't wait to have you guys on. I know you guys are working on, a new project now, which we definitely want to get into and talk about that, which is really cool. And especially the name behind it and the meaning behind it. I want you to be able to share about that for sure. But for the people that don't, and we'll ask Rem when he comes too, but I just want to start off with something I usually ask everybody is, rather than just telling our stories and, we talked before and like Travis says, essentially our stories are really the same at the end of the day. It's just different places, we got off at different places and stuff like that too. My question, I just want people to know that because like our bottoms, everybody's is different, right? Like something happened in our life to decide, look, life's unmanageable, something's got to change, something's got to give. And so I'm curious what that looked like for you. So you have a good amount of time in long-term recovery. So you made the decision quite some time ago, almost twice as long before I did. So I'm curious, like what life looked like to you, and it was 13 years ago, right? So I'm curious, like what life looked like to you then, and then what happened, like, was it situational or accumulation of just, things in your life got out of control to finally something clicked and said, you know what, I can't live like this anymore. And then like, how'd you make that change? What'd you do? And how'd you get started to finally find your path?
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. I like that because I don't have to go through everything because like I said, using is kind of the same. So what brought me to this process was really, it was 20 months into a 15-year prison sentence. I was using the entire time I was locked up. My dad died of an overdose. My dad and I used to get high together. I went to his funeral. They let me out on a furlough for 4 hours, showed up at his funeral. The only person that was there was me, my mom, and the CO that brought me. And that's where his addiction took him. He's been homeless since I was 12 years old, and he died while I was in prison. And I didn't get clean because of that. I continued to use after that. I got clean kind of by accident. Me and a couple guys got knocked off doing tattoos. I went to lockup. And then a month later, while I was on lockup, the judge gave me another chance to go to inpatient treatment. And so I left about a month later, went to rehab. I didn't even know what my clean date was because I didn't know what day I stopped getting high. I just know that I continued to use until I couldn't because I was on lockup. And so I went back and did the research. The first letter that I got when I was on lockup was May 5th, 2007. And so, I could have been clean a week before that, could have been clean a day before that. But I know on May 5th, I was clean. And like, I love sharing that story because it was never part of my plan to get clean. It was never part of the plan to stay clean. It was never part of the plan to be a productive member of society or a father or a husband, especially not a musician, sharing my story through music. That was a dream, never a plan. I was in long-term treatment for like 5 months. And, I had been in and out of treatment, group homes. I was expelled from school in 6th grade. I was expelled from a different school program in high school. And so I spent time in institutions and group homes and stuff like that through my childhood. So like everybody pretty much had always said, like, you're a career criminal. I'm a bad kid, bad influence. You're not going to change. And one counselor, the day that literally, this treatment center was the first thing I had completed ever. Like, I didn't complete high school. I finished it in a group home. I didn't go to college or like complete my jail sentence or anything like that. I completed rehab. It was the first thing I completed. And when I was graduating, I was leaving. There goes Travis with his he said he's got good service. He doesn't.
Shut up.
I completed treatment. I walked out, and this guy told me, he was like, "Look, B, you don't have to stay clean forever." He said, "But try it 100%. Do everything that these people suggested." And like, I was in treatment in a different area than I grew up. I grew up right outside of Washington, D.C. I went to treatment north of Baltimore. So I didn't know anybody there except for people that were in recovery. But the thing is, like, when I was going to these recovery meetings and meeting people that had clean time and sobriety and doing work on themselves, like, for whatever reason, their love towards me, it fit that hole in the soul. Like, I grew up, you know, my mom's love for me, it just didn't fit in the hole that was in my soul. You know, she loved me in the way that she knew how to and wanted to and stuff like that. But when I came to recovery meetings, like, these people's unconditional love, it just fit. It didn't make sense, but it felt so right. Just like getting high. Like, it didn't make sense why I could fucking put this substance in me, but I feel great, you know? But I knew I loved the feeling. It was the same concept. So like, I just kept coming. And, you know, since May 5th, 2007, I haven't found the excuse to pick up a drink or a drug. Because that's really all that it is today. It would just be an excuse to not face my feelings, an excuse to not face what's going on. Like, I've learned over the past 13 and some change years that there's nothing that picking up a substance and putting it in me is going to fix. You know, so. Mm-hmm. And now we're here today with you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
But yeah, no, that's what my bottom looked like. I mean, before I got locked up, I was living in my car because I was 20 years old when I got clean. A lot of people don't get clean when they're young. You know what I mean? A lot of people are old, like Travis.
Yeah.
But, you know, and so I'm grateful. You know what I mean? I had been using since I was 12 years old. And so, like, I'm grateful that I got clean at 20. Because, like, it's afforded me the opportunity. You know, I got out of jail, out of rehab with 2 felonies and no job experience. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what I could do. All I knew was that going to these meetings felt right. Mm-hmm. And like, nothing else mattered. I was like, I got 13 years to back up. I got 5 years of probation. I might as well give this a try and see how long I can stay out of jail this time. And it just stuck. It stuck, man. You know, it made sense. The people in my network were there to support me unconditionally. And like, I didn't come in brimming with love and honesty and willingness and shit. You know, the first job I got, I was stealing from it. I was selling cell phones and like doing fraudulent stuff just so I would like open up accounts in other people's names and take the Blackberries and sell them on Craigslist and then cancel the accounts. And like, I was shady when I first got clean, but you know what? I didn't use. I did not get high. You know what I mean? And like, eventually that company went out of business, and then I was selling cars, and like, used car salesmen are shady. And like, I wasn't always honest with people that I was selling cars to. And like, all that shit weighed on me. I didn't want to live that way, but like, those are still the defects that were there. And like, as I continued to work on myself and work through the steps, allowing people to guide me through those things, and allowing people to point stuff out that I was doing, where I was going, the way I was living, and being willing to change. Cause like, I didn't like the way that stuff made me feel. I just didn't know how to do anything different. Cause I grew up, even before I ever picked up a drink or a drug, I was stealing, I was boosting stuff, taking people. I think I was in like 3rd grade. You know, I was raised by a single mom. My parents got divorced when I was freaking 1 year old. So I had a babysitter, and like I was in like 3rd grade. I stole the babysitter's son's wallet for absolutely no reason except for to do it. They came to the school. They were like, "We know you have it." How do they know I have it? Because I was a badass kid, and I threw it in the trash. I took the $20 out and I threw it in the trash, and I had all his stuff in there. Like he was, I don't know, in his 20s. He had like a driver's license, credit card, whatever they had back then, and I don't even know what I did. I just stole it because I wanted to steal it. I wanted to feel like I was in control of something in my life because everything else was chaos. I didn't have control over what guy my mom was dating this week. I didn't have control over whether my dad lived in a trailer park, or, you know, I didn't have control over whether we had nice things or I had hand-me-down clothes and stuff. So I felt like the only thing that I could really control in my life was stealing and boosting. So
yeah, I can relate to that a lot because, you know, I know for me personally, even once, you know, I put the several failed attempts too of just putting down drugs and alcohol. Up there he goes again, and but it was the actual change of behavior, man. That really, until then, like I'm still that same asshole. I'm still that same scumbag. You know what I mean? So I'm just not picking up. And yeah, it wasn't until I actually changed those actual like behaviors. So let me ask you, like, so you were always probably a music fan, I'm sure.
100%.
Yeah. So like, you know, during your recovery and like in early recovery, where did you find yourself, or even was it while you were using, did you find yourself writing or making music? Like when did you start to decide and make the decision, like, I think this is the route that I want to
go? So I call myself like a closet rapper, and like absolutely no offense to anybody that might be, you know, gay or whatnot, that like is in the closet, that might not have come out, but like I was in the closet with my music. Like I was scared. Like I would do it by myself in my car. In my mind, it was a dream. It was never like there was these steps that I knew that I should take. It was just like, man, that'd be really cool if I could be a rapper one day or something. You know what I mean? That's all it was. I was a closet rapper. I rapped by myself in the car every once in a while, especially when I was using, like, you know, we would smoke and drive around and rap and freestyle and stuff. But I didn't start, like, I didn't write my first verse in recovery until I probably had, like, I want to say 4 or 5 years clean. Cause like I didn't feel like I had anything to say yet. I wanted to do work on myself. I wanted to feel like I had something to say, not just talk about addiction, not just talk about, you know, because there's plenty of music that talks about drugs and addiction and the, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to talk about like the solution. I wanted to uplift people the way that people uplifted me in the beginning. And I didn't know how to translate that into music yet until I started doing work on myself, and like diving into the book and diving into steps and stuff like that. And like I said, it wasn't until probably 4 or 5 years clean that I was a good bit of ways like through my step work, and like I met these guys that were doing music and they were in recovery also, and I like pursued them for probably 6 months. Like, yo, like, you want to just like rap sometime or something? Like, they had like a cipher outside of a meeting. It was fucking amazing.
go.
But I was scared to death. 4 years clean, like I was scared to death to walk up to them because I was scared that they would laugh at me or be like, get out of here, kid. So I watched them from across the other parking lot, and I was like, all right, next time I'm gonna go up and say something. and I did. And they were like, yeah, sometime, maybe later. And like, I would ask them like every month and a half. And about 6 months later, they were like, yeah, we're doing like a collab track, blah, blah, blah. Here's the beat. Why don't you write something? And I was like, all right, bet. Yeah, I'm in. And, but still, I hadn't written anything down. Because in my mind, if I wrote down music, then I was taking it seriously, then you could make fun of me. Right. That was my biggest fear, was being made fun of. You know, I grew up right outside of Washington, D.C. I was a scrawny little white kid. You know, I got picked on a lot. I got bullied a lot. I wasn't fast. I wasn't strong. I wasn't good looking. Like, none of those things were in my favor. I had hand-me-down clothes. And so I was scared of being made fun of. I was scared of not fitting in and scared of not being good enough. And I drove home from that meeting. It was about a 40-minute drive. And by the time I got home, I finished writing my verse. And I texted the guy and I'm like, yo, I'm done. He was like, what? Like the whole, you're done? I was like, yeah, dude, I'm done. And he was like, yo, that's insane. It's been like an hour. And I was like, yeah, man, I really want this is back before we had like I guess there was voice record on Blackberries, one of my stolen Blackberries. And anyways, I ended up meeting him at the meeting the next day. And I remember standing in the parking lot with my phone in my hand, like shaking, scared to death. Like everything in me, I was scared to death. But I'm like, I was telling myself, be like, if this is what you want to do, these are the things that you have to walk through. You have to walk through these fears, no matter how uncomfortable I was. I mean, it wasn't butterflies. It was like the whole cave of bats, like in my chest, just like madness. I'm shaking in the parking lot, but I rapped it to them, and they were like, holy shit. Like, we did not expect for you to be good at all. And I was like, so what does that mean? They were like, it was good. That's what that means. I was like, all right, bet. And like each one of those things like helped me to get a little bit more confident in myself and a little bit more confident in myself. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of how my music started. There he goes again.
Again, he's just the in and out guy tonight, man.
But yeah, that's what I felt like. I wanted to have something to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I wanted to be able to. Hey, don't worry, Trav. We'll watch.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, but it showed, like, to me, honestly, like you and a lot of the other guys too. You, Rem, Kalichi, KC, like Joe Nestor, like are my go-tos, man. Like not even just because you're artists that are in recovery, but like just that's what I like. Like I like music with a message, period. And like this is what I live by anyway. So like it's real to me, you know what I mean? And I think, you know, waiting that period of time and like building up that courage to do it and really like authentically knowing yourself by the time you did it, like it's wise, because like it shows, you know what I mean? And like now you are being part of the solution, walking in the solution, and you can talk about it now like a lot more in depth and not even really know yourself and what you're talking about. Like the 555 album's crazy. Like absolutely love that, man. And like you thought, you know, you said like, you know, this was a dream I had. This was a dream I had. Like I love that too, because like I got to steal a quote from you that you use in one of your songs too. It's like the sky's not the limit. There's footprints on the moon. Like that right there was just
footprints
like,
up there,
dude. That was like there. When I heard that, I was just like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like that's that. Yeah.
Yes, dude. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, it's funny. I tell people, so growing up, my musical influences was bluegrass.
Really?
My mom, so I had a single mom, and she was a partier. She loved her some men and festivals. So we went to a ton of bluegrass festivals. And like that was the first time I like experienced, I mean, I was probably 4 or 5 years old, experiencing live music like that. And like just seeing them play the instrument, play the fiddle or whatever the hell. And like they weren't doing like hip hop rapping, but they were like, if you look at it, they're sing rapping. They're rapping with a melody, you know? And I'm like, and I mean, I can't remember any of the lyrics and stuff. Like the only thing I remember was like, way down yonder by the Chattahoochee, never knew how much that muddy water meant to me. And I learned how to, you know what I mean? Like, but they like kept the beat, kept the melody, and they were like they were telling stories. And like, I loved that. And, you know, then when I found Tupac, you know, around like 8 or 9, and Eminem and Busta Rhymes, first hip hop I ever listened to was Busta Rhymes. when he was, I forget what group he was with.
Tribe Called Quest.
No. It was I don't remember what group Busta Rhymes was. Anyways,
Yeah,
he was with a group, and I was like, yo, and he was just like spitting flames. I'm like, whoa, somebody can rap that fast. And like Tupac just spoke to me because I felt like, you know, we lived in, like, not that I'm like I not witnessed any murders or anything like that, but like my neighborhood, like my high school got shot up multiple times. Like I didn't live in like the projects, but I definitely didn't live in like the greatest neighborhood. And so like I related to that so much, and he told stories and he told truths and stuff, and like I related with him so much. And you know what I mean? And then just like the evolution, obviously Eminem and stuff like that, and Lil Wayne. I loved Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne always blew my mind. Still probably one of my favorite rappers, like Lil Wayne. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's why I said like these guys had something to say. And so when I started making music, like I wanted to make sure like I had something to say.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Anybody can go and just be like blue truck, red truck, Percocet. You know,
pretty
whatever.
much, right. You're pretty much what most of today is, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And so I wanted to make sure, like, if I'm making music, like, why?
Yeah.
What's my why? And it's to carry a message. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I got a question here from. So I'm gonna take a couple questions too from the chat. Also, people joining us live. Yeah. So guys, if you do want to ask a question, make sure you throw it in caps so I can keep up. Also on the other end. So this is actually from my better half, Jen. She wants to know. What do you do when you're having a low point, and how do you get out of that dark place? So, and I'm going to ask you outside of music, because that's probably your go-to. Sure. Outside of music, if you're going through, you know, a hard time, a struggle, you know, whatever it may be in life, recovery-wise, whatever it may be, how do you get out of that dark place? Like, what's your go-to?
What's crazy? It's crazy you're asking me that in this today. Like, I was literally this morning, I was not having a good day. I was feeling defeated. I have like a lot of projects. I have like this project with music. I also own a recovery house that I opened up back in 2019. All the funds that I made from tour in 2019, I invested it into opening a men's recovery house here in my local community. And so like in the past week, almost a handful of guys that have chose to move out before, you know, they completed and stuff like that, were using, and they called me, and like and I was like really close to them. And so I don't know, I was just like not having a good day. I told my wife, and I'm like, and I normally don't. I normally just bottle up, especially with my depression and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, it ain't no more seasonal depression. It's nice as shit outside.
Especially tonight, right?
I told my wife this morning, I was like, hey, I'm not having a good day. And it's funny because I came downstairs right where I'm at now, and I had like a few merch orders I had to send out. I had a couple different emails that I had to send with like contracts for shows. And I was just like feeling really overwhelmed. Like I was getting pulled in all these directions. And because I told my wife one time, I was like, hey, I'm not having a good day. She reached out to my best friend, which is REM. And then he just shows up at my house, right? Because I built a network today. So like I have people in my life. So because I tell my wife knows my friends. She can tell my friends, even though, no, bro, we're already pretending like you're not even here.
Brian, I don't even want to hear it, dude. I literally want to kick my freaking Surface Pro like out the window.
Okay, you got great service right now. You got great service right now.
Dude, listen, I don't even want to talk about it, because this never happened until you sent me that link and you asked me to click that link. And now my freaking goddamn computer's screwed up. I got a virus.
Oh, God.
Not okay.
Anyways, back to my very serious answer, Travis. I told somebody, because I've built a network, right? I've built people, you know, created relationships with other people that are also in recovery, created relationships with people who care about me. I can say to one person, I'm not having a good day. and that person knows who my friends are, who my go-tos are, so she can say, hey, 3-4 guys, B's not having a good day, can we cheer him up, right? So Rem comes over, helps me do one thing at a time. Like, my big thing is accomplishing stuff. Like, I feel overwhelmed when I have all these loose strings, and Rem's like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the merch right now. Print out the whatever labels. Got that done in like 20 minutes. And then, okay, you need to send these contracts. So do this contract and this one and then this one, and one thing at a time. And then, you know, we get out of the house and we made the video for you with you guys, and you know what I mean, just like accomplishing one thing at a time, one thing at a time, one step at a time, one moment at a time. And like, because I have people surrounding me, you know, and then Josh shows up and I go to the recovery house and like I'm talking to those guys, and then I'm able to be of service for them. Like, they need a ride. So like, I'm gonna add something to my gratitude list of like, you know, I that's literally what I did. I told my wife that I'm not having a good day. As I'm walking upstairs, I'm like thinking of all the bad things that was going on. Like, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, those are good problems to have. Like, I have too many merch orders that I can't keep up with. I have too many contracts to send out for shows that like I'm feeling overwhelmed. I have, you know, guys in the recovery house. I don't have enough beds that I want to bring these guys back and give them, but I don't have any beds available to put them in. Like, so, you know, and so then as I'm thinking about those negative things, I start saying, well, that's a good problem to have. Like, a lot of merch orders. I'm glad that I have a lot of merch orders. Actually, it's a really nice day outside. Like, I'm grateful that I told my wife that I wasn't having a good day, and she didn't like get upset with me or take it personally. Like, it's her fault that she wasn't having a good day. And like one thing at a time, that's really what it is. And just having people in my life, in my circle, that can be there to support me and stuff like that. That's huge.
Yeah, I think he's
ghost.
I think, what did you say?
I think there's a ghost.
There is a ghost.
There's a ghost.
Oh, dude, I have not been this quiet this long in my entire life. Let me say hi. Hi, Abby.
That's Abby.
You're my favorite.
Hey. That's my famous
Am I allowed
Abby.
to wear this tomorrow to school?
No.
Are you going to keep it pulled up that high?
Yes.
Say no, B.
It looks like enough.
The reason I
Oh, with the shirt? Yeah.
Oh.
With the shirt
With
underneath.
the shirt? That's gonna be hot.
Well, beauty is not
Stigma ends here. Episode 5 been brought to you by Parenting 101.
Did it?
Is it?
Oh no. Oh man.
Oh, it's like rolling down your ear.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gross. Did I get it off?
Yeah.
For you guys that don't know, B got my initials tattooed behind his ear this afternoon.
I did.
Yeah.
Hi, Abby.
Hi.
TG.
I know who he is. What is his?
Yeah.
TG.
You did. Okay.
So I want to say real quick too, a couple of things that you said there too that that I love too is like one, the circle that we establish in recovery with people in recovery, but even like people that are closest to us, because the same thing, like I relate to that so much when you said too, like, you know, you told on yourself that you're having a bad day to your wife, and she went through the appropriate channels to get you outside of self, right? And find your way out of that dark time. And like, that's kind of like how it is for me too. Like, and even if we're not able to tell on ourselves, we get so close to people with our tight knit group that like, even if we don't feel it or know we're in that funk, like we have people in our circle that notice it in us before we even notice it in ourselves. You know what I mean? And help us get out of it or do it, what it may be, like call us out on it and stuff like that, which I absolutely love that you said that. And then also like, what a blessing it is, right? To have those kind of problems today. Like those privileged problems, like I got, you know what I mean? Like people are actually interested, like, and have me around. People, you know, are liking the merch, too much to fulfill, like all these things, like compared to waking up without a choice. You know what I mean? I have to put something in me first, and how am I going to get it? What am I going to do? Like the problems we have today. And then like, and I feel the same way. I get overwhelmed because I put so much on my plate, but then it's like, and luckily I have people, you know, like my fiance and other people in my life and people on my team on Recovery Army Outreach, like to keep me geared in. Okay, let's do this first. Let's do this, like, and chip away at these things one thing at a time. And I think like it's just awesome, like how you can have people, you know you authentically and help hold you accountable in times that you're not, and help show you like, look, it's not so bad. Like you can manage this. You've been through worse. You know what I mean? Let's chip away one thing at a time and be there in your corner, not just in your circle, but in your corner, and help push you and guide you along the way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Travis.
Oh, hey guys, what's up? I'm Travis. Can I come to the show?
Hey,
Jesus.
Travis, welcome. Yes,
I
sir.
never sat
if you're
this
gonna-
quiet in my freaking life. This
You're
is
gonna hang around
unreal.
for a while. Jeez.
So B, and you know, and I've been blessed to know you for it seems like a couple years now.
Yeah.
And I know you do take things like, I don't want to say personal, but you hold things, you know, really close to your heart. Like you put your heart and you put all your effort into things. And like I even know, like if a show cancels or falls through, like I want to call you and be like, hey, everything's okay. But I give you what, the 24-hour, 48-hour rule, you know, just to, I give you that window to let you absorb that, because, you know, the one thing that I've noticed about you, and if people don't know, B and I's history goes back to when he opened up for Macklemore. And this is one of the things that I fell in love with Brian about is this man opened up for Macklemore, fits in the tantrums. I mean, you're talking a sea of people. And the second he got done performing, him, his family, his friends, they all walked right back into the crowd and they watched the show.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so my question is like, when you were going through the voting process and as things was building up and you finally got the call from the Above the Noise Foundation that you were going to open up on this massive platform, like how surreal was it? A surreal moment, or was it like, yeah, I'm finally getting what I earned, you know, what I worked for?
It was a surreal moment. I didn't know what to expect. So I had, in that moment, I'm like, okay, how do I impress Macklemore? That was my thought. Dead ass. Like, I'm impress him. I started having dreams that he was like calling me later, you know, after the show, like flying you to Seattle and stuff like that. It was so like there was a lot of really good artists in that contest, and there was a lot of not so good artists, and one that I was like neck and neck with that I ended up beating. I was like, I'm gonna prove to everybody that might not even know me of why I won. The fact that I won is better, because I'm gonna put on the absolute best show. Like by then I had been doing shows, you know. I feel like other than maybe a handful of the people in the top 10, like, because I researched my competition. Like if I'm going to be in a competition, I'm going to know who I'm competing against. And I had researched, and there might have been one or two people that have done like live performances before. And I'm in my mind, I'm thinking like, why? I get it. People are good and stuff, and people need their chance. And I'm like, I'm going to put on a fucking killer show. You guys don't even know. Like I've been putting on shows for years. I'm going to put on a great show. And in that moment, I was just like, it was like one of those, just a W. Like I've accumulated wins, right? Of like, yes, this is going to take me to the next. And like I said, my perception was I'm going to impress Macklemore. I met Macklemore for like 60 seconds, but that built our relationship. It built my relationship with other foundations. And I've been able to stay in contact with probably thousands of fans that like I met through that show, and build my social media following and build, you know, where they're sharing my music, and just another way to continue. Bro, did you know I was on freaking MTV because of that show?
I do. I saw the clip.
Dude, like 4 seconds, I was on MTV. They could have picked any part of that show. It was an all-day thing, but they chose the part where I was on stage.
So you guys killed that show, man. Like that show was so much energy, like this, this was like obviously Macklemore being the main event, but the pregame show. I mean, I stood right beside you when Macklemore. Yeah. So I got the headphones in. She just flipped you off, bro. She was like, "Yo, REM one's better."
No, she didn't.
Yeah, dude, I heard her, man.
Absolutely not.
But you guys killed. You guys killed that show. And even though it was an individual competition and you had won the competition, but to be able to have REM up there with you, having your wife sing up on stage with you. And again, when Macklemore was doing, friggin' when he was killing, like you were sitting and like right to the left of me. We have a great photo. It was, dude, it was such an amazing, and that kind of transcended so many more things after that, especially between me and you. I mean, I've flown around the country to come hang out and spend time with you and see your shows. Connecticut, Indiana, Baltimore. We've been all over the place. And so here we go. I got another. This is a great question. We've been asking all these guys. We're gonna get it a little bit light topic. Okay, you have to answer this quick. Are you ready, B?
I'm ready.
Okay. You walk into a grocery store and you're trying to creep the cashier out. What are you buying?
Go.
Robitussin DM. Like a whole case full of Robitussin DM.
That's it?
Oh, I can buy multiple things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, go.
All right. Robitussin DM, orange sherbet ice cream, like 5 gallons of that, and baby wipes.
That answer still makes my answer seem just so messed up.
Yeah.
They don't sell dildos at the damn grocery store, bro.
Dude, well, we talked to REM sells them, remember?
Yeah, he sells them outside of the grocery store. You can't take those to the pantry, right?
Oh man.
Like, you have to know, does this grocery store have a pharmacy in it? Does it have a meat section? Is this a Walmart or like a super Walmart?
Yeah, super Walmart.
Yeah. Costco's, like,
right.
What will be going on?
BJ's?
Yeah. All right, this one I want to ask you: how does being a father and a husband influence the type of music that you want to put out?
It heavily influenced. I mean, as far as like and I'm sure you've definitely recognized it because we've had this conversation. Like probably in the past 2 years, ever since I dropped 555, I have stopped cussing in all of my music, because I want not only my daughter to see, like, to be able to listen to it more than just like her by herself. I want her to be able to share it with her friends, because like, her friends have parents that might be struggling or siblings that might be struggling. And, if my music can influence her through my actions and through what she sees that I do, then I've seen it firsthand so many times with other kids all across the country. I want them to be able to be happy to listen to my music and know that they're getting, a positive message without a whole bunch of fucks and bitches and asses and,
because your shows are kid friendly. I mean, your show is a family oriented show. I mean, my daughter's been blessed to perform on stage with you twice. Lil B twice. And that's what's amazing, because you're right. Like, we're also trying to reflect on our children because the stigma says that if we're struggling and we have kids, that we can't speak up about it because we're going to lose our kids, that we're going to have this taken away. And there's this giant stigma about it. So when you have someone like yourself who really puts a lot of thought in their music and what you're putting out, is a message, and it's a message for the kids, and it's a message for the adult, and it's something that they can come to a Cloud Gang show and actually participate in something together. And that's what's beautiful about your guys' show, is that you guys really do a really good job.
The idea is being able to forge new memories right? Like, especially in early or anytime in recovery, to be able to forge new memories. If you're a parent and have children, like we've created some pretty shit memories of like our addiction and stuff, like, why are you sleeping all the time, or where are you at for the last 3 days, or whatever. And like, so to be able to forge new memories for the kids, and a memory that they can not only enjoy because they can hear the good music and it's positive and it's fun and we get them involved and stuff like that, but also they're there with their parent, that they're like, you know, a lot of times people get clean and the kids are still questioning, like, okay, I see them doing well, but I'm scared.
Right.
It's not going to be this way forever. So this is like one of those things that they can experience together: happiness, enjoyment, togetherness, love. And it's kind of like an action thing for the family to just forge them closer. And like, that's really the goal of being able to put on family friendly events, because like I was telling Mike earlier, you know, actually I wasn't telling you, I don't know why I said that. I used to, so when I first started doing music, I did showcases with like other rappers, and it was like, you know, you pay to play, you got to buy 10 tickets and you sell 10 tickets to your friends and stuff like that. And you know, it was literally just a bunch of rappers and a bunch of rappers' girlfriends. It's pretty much what it was. And so it wasn't like a great environment. A lot of times it was in the city in a not great neighborhood or whatever. And so like, after probably 5 or 6 of those, and like getting my stage presence and like kind of hearing my voice, and even at that time I didn't really know what direction. I just knew that I wanted to share a story or share a message in my music, and I knew that it didn't fit in these kind of events. So how do I come up with other things? And that's actually when I met Joe. Joe was on a label. I had just dropped a song about a friend of mine overdosing, and they heard about it and they reached out to me, and I ended up traveling to North Carolina on Joe's first tour.
And you're talking about Joe Nestor.
Joe Nestor, yeah.
Okay.
Joe Nestor was on his very first tour. I think it was called the Overdose Awareness Tour. He had like Bubba Sparks with it. It was pretty cool. But like, my goal was, one, to build more relationships with other people in recovery that are making music, and 2, learn. I wanted to learn how are they doing this? Who are they talking to? What are the steps of setting up a show, getting a venue? I had no idea. And so I went down there, and Joe let me pick his brain for like an hour, probably even more, out back of the venue and stuff like that. And I did 2 shows with him. We built a relationship, and soon after that I came back. So the timeline, I put this song out. I'm going on tour with Joe. REM knows Joe. He sees my post because we've been talking about music, and we just haven't like linked up yet. But he lives in Maryland, so he sees that I'm going to do a tour with Joe, and he gives me background information about the label that Joe's on. Not Joe, but the label that he's on, like just Being Weary. And I'm like, okay, bet, you know, I kind of got that vibe, so I'm gonna do my best to just be aware. So I come back from that tour with Joe, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to put on an event. And we actually created the Addiction Recovery Awareness Music Festival here in Westminster, Maryland, in my community. I wanted to do something for my community. I hit REM up because I wanted other artists that are in recovery, and we didn't have a big budget. So I'm like, REM, trying to do a show? He was like, yeah. So we got a handful of people out there. It was a really good event, but that was the first time that REM and I met. And him and I just like clicked from jump. It was like, if there was ever like a platonic love at first sight, it's me and REM. It's like I met him.
Kind of feel jaded here.
Bro, if you had any good service, like we could have we have service now. But yes, no, when we hung out, dude, well, so like it was so much. All I knew is exactly what nobody special means. That's that day in Rhode Island with Macklemore and Fits in the Tantrums and stuff like that. I knew I wanted to convey to anybody that was there, like, I'm just a guy in recovery. I make music and I want to share my message and hopefully give some hope and motivation to others. And honestly, my goal is to empower people. Like, so many people empowered me. They didn't give me the power. They empowered me. They showed me that I'm worthy, that I am capable of creating something, of building something. And like so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to show, like, hey, I'm nobody special. Like, I'm just another guy in recovery doing my best, and like, you can too. And I feel like through doing that, you know, because it's an action thing. Like, I can say all I want. Oh, I'm an honest person. I'm nice. I don't have an ego or this, that, and a third. But like, until you actually see it in my actions, like, all it is words. And so like, that was my biggest goal. And like, you know, it really did. It like forged our friendship and relationship when we started talking and stuff like that. And like, I'm so incredibly, once we get Eleanor, I swear to God, as soon as we get Eleanor out of the shop, I'm coming to see you.
All right, I got another question. Ready for this one?
All right.
All right. Dude, where's Rem?
He's on his way, bro.
Okay.
He's speaking at a meeting. We talked about this when you didn't have service, but I'll say it again. He's at a meeting right now.
Okay, so I heard that, but I can't hear you over the ego that you're trying to portray to me right now. So can you please just hush it down? So, all right, how did the fight with the T-Mobile customer happen? Did he not upgrade his unlimited plan?
Listen,
What was it?
this is what happened. So I'm gonna set the scene. I'm the boss. I'm the manager, right? Because I'm the captain. I was the manager of the store, so of course I'm in the back of the store, not doing shit, right? and one of my employees, yeah, probably. One of my employees comes back and said, "B, you got to get out here. This customer is being really shitty." And so I come out. I have this young girl. She's at the counter and she's really flustered. She was maybe 19 years old. And this guy is just giving her a hard time because we didn't have any cases for his phone. And he's like talking, like pretty much belittling her in front of me. And I was like, absolutely not. And so I'm like, listen, dude, I don't care what you do. We don't have any cases. There's 3 other stores in a 5-mile radius that you can go to. You can take your business there because I don't want it. And he started to like get kind of frustrated with me. And I was like, check this out. I don't give a fuck if you buy from here, ever come back here again. I don't want your business at all. And I was like, you can leave. And so it was in Baltimore. It was actually right across the street from the Motel 6 that I lived in fresh out of treatment. So there's like security. It was like a strip mall. So there's like security at the strip mall. And so I go to my front door and I look out to see where the security is so they can come get him the fuck out of my store. And they weren't there. I turn around. I have the door open. I turn around. He's standing right here in the door with me. I'm like, so I fucking grabbed him and I threw him out the door. But the stupid part is like, I didn't go back in the store. I went out of the store and shut the door and we squared up. And I was like, look, I don't give a fuck what this name tag says. Cause like, I'm still, like I said, I didn't come in perfect. I'm still with the jail mentality. Like, you disrespect me. You disrespect this innocent girl. Like, fuck you and whatever horse you rode in.
And you have a choice premium plan.
Right. I didn't even give a fuck what kind of plan it was. It's like, so we square up and like the whole front of the store is glass. And I look back in, there's like 6 other customers looking at me. There's 3 employees. I'm like, bro, you're not fucking worth me going back to prison. And I was like, just get the fuck out of here and never come back. And so I went inside. He ended up calling corporate. And then my boss came in and my boss's boss. And they were like, look, we don't want to. Because I was the #1 store in the region. But when I took over that store, it was like the worst store in the region, which I would much rather take over the worst one because then any growth is good.
It's good growth.
#1. And so they let me go.
Oh, look who it is.
Oh, it's Fred.
What's up, guy?
What's up, Rem?
I already did the measurement, so you're good right there.
Oh,
He's
So
lying.
that's
You're so-
how I
you're
got
so
fired.
kind.
I am. That's how I got fired from T-Mobile. Yeah.
Yo,
Nice.
what's up, Rem?
What's going
Oh
on,
yeah.
guys?
Fuck my story. That's cool.
I can't. Rem, did you say something? I can't hear you.
I said, "What's up, man?"
Oh, dude,
What's
what's,
up, man?
up, buddy? Hey, can you do me a favor and just slide the guy to your left just a little over some? Thank you. Yeah, perfect. So, what's up, Frank? Hey, we heard you were out there spreading the message of hope, and I'm
Yeah,
glad that
sorry,
you could-
guys. Yeah, you were communicating this whole thing through this guy. So, no, seriously, I forgot totally. And then they asked me a long time ago, and then they called me a couple days ago, and I was like, oh shit. Trust me, everything in me wanted to say, sorry, I'm going to send somebody in my place. I can't come, but I'm going to cover you. But I couldn't do it. You know what I
You got to
mean?
show up.
Yeah, man.
Got to show up.
That was a good meeting, though. It really was.
Yeah,
There's
dude.
a lot of, I always get nervous sharing in the area. Not nervous, but like if it's a bunch of people who've already heard my story, but there was a ton of newcomers there. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So, Mike, you got anything you want to add? Ask B or ask Rem?
Yeah. So, Rem, welcome to the show, man. I'm glad you had time to join us. But that's what we do, right? Though in recovery, we get up, dress up, and show up. So when we take a commitment, we hold on to it. So I appreciate you continuously, spreading hope, man, and strength and experience. And I'm glad you could join us, man. So welcome to the show, brother. I appreciate you, man. So I also got a question here. I want to ask both of you guys also. We got a question here in the chat too. Do you find times ever, and I'm sure it's difficult, being in your position where you guys are at now, the project you're working on, all these things on your plate that are going on, do you find that you ever need to disconnect completely? Like just for your mental, for your state of mind, like through, disconnect from socials for a few days or phone calls, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, for me, absolutely. All you have to do is go look at my Facebook or my Instagram. Posted on Instagram in months.
Yeah.
The only thing on my Facebook has been lives when we're going to talk about the campaign or doing a raffle. But I mean, I'm not sure what B's answer would be, but for me, I have always been a little old school in that aspect anyway. So for me to be on social media a lot feels like a job. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not comfortable there. So I didn't grow up with it. And also I just found it maybe 4 years ago when I came over from prison. Like it's been out for a long time, smartphones and social media, and even back when MySpace and Facebook first came out, I never had any of that. I never even turned a computer on until I got clean. So it was all foreign to me, but I definitely have to disconnect often. And just it becomes overwhelming. You know what I mean? So I try to, when I'm on socials, I don't want anything to be forced. You know what I mean? And there's just some days I'm not feeling it. So I would rather post nothing than post something that's not genuine,
Yeah.
I would say for me, like, I can't recall a time where I was purposefully like, I need to put this down. I have been in positions, like Rem said, I haven't posted on my Instagram since we dropped the announcement of the project, right? And it's not purposefully, it's because my focus has been other places. So like that happens quite often where like I'm focused on this project or this thing that we're creating, Eleanor or whatever it might be. And I'll go, I'm all in. I'm all or nothing with everything. Like social media pretty much has been my job for, I don't know what, 3 years, 2.5 years, 3 years almost. And being self-employed, full time and stuff for over a year and some change, almost a year and a half or whatnot now. And so I haven't like disconnected. I've just gotten focused in other areas where picking up the phone isn't like my every second thought. You know what I mean? And so I feel like through doing work, like, because it's like, it is not just social media, but like whether it's you know, Candy Crush or freaking whatever game for that, for
Travis calling.
yeah, looking for beats, or like search, you know, I'm on YouTube constantly learning, you know what I mean? So like, while YouTube is definitely a social media and we use it as that, but it's probably one of the most important learning tools that I've utilized in years. And now TikTok, I learn a ton of shit from. I love learning. And so yeah, it hasn't been like I haven't like been like, fuck, I really need to just disconnect from it. I'll just get focused in other areas and I won't even think about it. So that's fine.
Hey, Rem, question for you. So being someone who works,
well, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I just want to say this off the break. I've been here for 5 minutes. I love it. I hate when you do an interview and they're just like, there's no questions.
Yeah.
There's no questions.
Or they're like, tell us your,
listen,
like,
I'm not that smart, and I'm very scatterbrained. Like, you cannot rely on me to run the show. Like, yeah.
All right. You're gonna love this, Rem. I got a couple for you, and we'll
interrupt me again, Rem?
Is there a mute button? Are you guys on the same camera?
Real quick, Trav, before you jump into that, just because it's been mentioned a couple times, and just for everyone that doesn't know, can you explain who or what Eleanor is?
Yes, Eleanor is our tour bus. So back in the beginning of COVID, Rem and I we kind of talked about this, about
the
my
boob
day.
bus.
We were depressed. We weren't doing shows. COVID, it was just madness. And our wives are like, yo, you guys need to go and like hang out and write some music or do something, because you're getting on our damn nerves.
We're not happy unless we're building towards something. Like for me, and I know for him, and I think that's why we get along so well, is the fun is in the journey. You know, we don't focus on accomplishments. We accomplish it and then, okay,
what's next?
That was cool. What's next?
What else can it's not like that was cool, put it down, what's next? It's like, oh, we accomplished it. What else can we accomplish? What if we could do this with this much time? What could we do with this much time or this much knowledge and stuff? So that's where it was. So we got together and we were just sitting in a parking lot, and we're like, I think Rem saw a FedEx truck drive by and was like, yo, what if we bought one of those and put bunks in the back? Because we rent vans all the time to like drive to Indiana.
And we rented a tour bus for the last tour, which was insane costly. Like, you wouldn't
ridiculous. So yeah, we did that, and I was like, yo, that's a really good idea. So we started looking that up. And I'm like, yo, I found this and found it. And then he's like, well, what if we get a van? Like, one of the vans that we ran. It's like, oh, well, I found this one. This has like 4 bunks in the back of those vans. That looks pretty cool. It's like, yo, we could do that. Yeah. And then like, we're like, all right, bet, we got a plan now. Let's find the least expensive thing that we can put some bunks in. And
we each went home, and we're both, now we have something. We have something to work on. We have something. And I know we mentioned it. Our wives forced it. Our wives were like, you guys are being miserable pricks. You're not happy unless you're planning something. And they forced us to meet up. And we were upset when we first met up. We're sitting in the truck and we're like, there's nothing to do. The country's shut down. We can't plan anything. This is bullshit. And then we seen the truck. So when we leave, we go home that night. I found an RV, and it was hideous. It was hideous. It was like, the whole thing was like this color. Maybe it was like color. Teal blue. Like
it was like this color.
Yeah. Yep. That color.
It was that
the
color.
Blue.
The blue, not white.
And he's like, I'm like, don't hate it before I sent the picture. I'm like, I have the vision, forget the color. And I sent it, and I'm thinking he's gonna be like, bro, what the hell is that? His first response is, I love it.
Let's go.
Next day we're in Jersey. We're not even sure if we're breaking the law, because
definitely
like,
we're breaking
we're not supposed to be leaving the state.
Right.
Yeah. So we drive to Jersey and we see it, and we get there, and B has experience. He sold cars for a little while. I don't, right? So I'm not recognizing the used car salesman gimmick come from this guy, and B's like being very like short and stern at this guy, and I'm like, take it easy, bro. He's like, no, he's trying to pull one over, and we see it. And go ahead, tell him how.
And I was like, I want to drive it. He was like, I don't know if we can get it. It hasn't been started in a minute. I'm like, all right, well, we're not buying it unless I can drive it. So he was like, oh, all right. So he comes out and he starts it up, and I'm like, all right, bet. Sounds good. Looking at it, you know. And so as soon as I try to pull it off, no power steering, right? Funny story, because Eleanor, we broke the power steering in Eleanor. Anyways, pull it out, power steering is not working. I'm like, okay, we'll look past it. So we're driving, it's shaking, it's really not driving very well at all.
There's a hole in the roof where it's been raining inside of it.
Yeah. And it was just a lot. So it didn't have any gas. So I pulled over, got gas, bought power steering fluid, put power steering fluid in it.
It just poured out on the ground.
Yeah, we turned it around, started driving the other. It was just this long, probably 10 miles straightaway road, driving it. And the power steering fluid just comes back out. And I'm like we really wanted to make it work.
So bad.
And I was just like, Ram, I don't.
Because we got a tape measure out. We're like, yep, we can put a bunk here. And like, he's driving like, I don't know. And I'm in the back like, no, this is perfect.
Yeah, this will work. I tell you, we can put them all right here and this. And I'm like, all right, so we take it back. But on that test drive, we're driving and we see this big white bus. And I'm like, what is that? And it looks exactly kind of like the loaf of bread tour buses that we see real musicians on. And I was like, yo, I'd like to see it. There was literally an index card for the price in the window. And I couldn't tell if it said 15,000 or 1,500. And I was like, I don't know. It just passed my mind. So we took the bus back and I'm like, nah, dude, like, I don't want to get into this. Like, we can build some stuff, but like the mechanical stuff, not our forte. So we ended up saying no. As much as we didn't want to, we left. And I'm like,
feeling deflated.
We're in New Jersey. And I'm like, bro, we're up here. Like, let's just go look at that other thing, right? We didn't know. I was like, let's go look at it just to look inside of it. Because we're all about visualization. If you see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. You know what I mean? You visualize what you think about most of the time is what becomes your reality, like a lot of that stuff. And so I was like, let's just go look at it. And it was like, all right, bet. So we turned around, we went and looked at it, and we're like, oh my God, this thing is amazing. And
we're running around this thing like kids
like we're at a playground, like, oh my God, climbing up on it, look at this, I can see all the way back, it's so big. And I was like, let me call them. I mean, it ended up saying 15 grand on it. I was like, we don't have that kind of money at all.
Yeah, the first one was 5 grand.
Yeah, the first one was 5 grand that we went to look at. So I was like, let me just call the guy, see if he's like inside of this store, and maybe he'll let us look at it. And he was not there. But I called him, he didn't answer. So we looked at it some more for like 5-10 minutes and we left. Still deflated. He calls me back while we're driving home. We're still in Jersey, like 5 minutes away. And
you're gonna like this next part, Travis. I'll point at you when it's what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
So I'm on the phone with him. And I'm driving, and I'm just like driving around, and Rem's like, where are you going? I'm like, I don't know. And so I'm like talking to him. And, you know, I tell him about what we do, who we are, stuff like that.
He's talking to a stranger for an hour and a half, Travis.
Complete stranger for an hour and a half. We're becoming best friends. I told him that we're in recovery, and he told us that his son is in recovery in Denver, Colorado. And I was like, look, I told him like 5 times, I don't want to disrespect your bus. It's beautiful, but we don't have $15,000. And at the end of the conversation,
and then come to find out, he thought it was 27. That he had 27,000 on it, and the guy whose lot it was on got tired of it sitting there and slapped the fits.
So yes.
Talk about 10 grand. Yeah.
And so he was like, look, come back up tomorrow and I'll let you guys drive it. Never balked on the fact that I was like, I wasn't trying to lowball. Like I said, I was in the car business for 4 years. I wasn't trying to lowball, and the bus was perfect. Bus was worth all the money. And I was like, I just want to see it. And so we went back up there. We drove home, drove back to Jersey the next day, in the middle of COVID.
So excited though, like
Pumped.
he's gonna let us go on it.
Pumped.
This might happen.
Yeah. And so we drive it, and we talk to him some more for like another 2 or 3 hours. But then me, Josh, and Rem are all there together. He's like, he gets to like meet all of us, and we get to tell him about what we do, the sober events, the family oriented shows, the music, and showed him some music. And we ended up coming up with a price that was like really just a tiny bit more than that other crap bus was. And
but the thing was, that was the guy's idea. So
was
the
his
guy
idea,
said, after talking to him, he said, listen, he said, I'm a man of God, and I believe that, he said, what I believe is if I have the opportunity to help someone who's worth it, then that's my responsibility. And he pretty much handed us the bus.
Absolutely.
That's
Handed us the bus. And so it's a tour bus. We got it home. We ended up going back up the next day, buying it because the banks were closed by then. Drove it home, and literally from that day, we completely gutted it, like to nothing.
Completely.
Like it was a shell, and we built it up. Rem and I and a couple other guys helped, but pretty much Rem and I, neither of us with carpentry experience or anything like that. We built 9
YouTube.
bunks. Yeah, YouTube, watching.
And our experience with the other bus that we rented, we modeled it off of.
Yes, so we modeled it off of the bandwagon bus, Travis, that we had in 2019 on tour. And so we got 9 bunks. We have a bathroom. We have a back area, like lounge with a TV that was actually donated by this guy named Sober Coach on Instagram in California. He donated a 50-inch flat screen TV. We have 2 8-foot couches. We have a fridge. We have a coffee bar. That was Rem's idea.
Massage chair.
A massage chair, because my idea was to have a Mortal Kombat machine on there, and it was.
And we did it, but then we were like, we're never going to use this thing.
Never.
It's
We literally used the coffee bar every single day, 10 times a day. So that was probably the best idea of the entire build, was adding
not one game of Mortal Kombat.
Not a single one. No, when we went out west to shoot all those videos, I don't even think we played video games once.
Right.
Not a single time.
Because
in all fairness, B is nasty at Mortal Kombat, man.
I am. I will.
Dude, I played
mad.
against him in Connecticut, man. I never even stood a chance, man.
Never. Not a chance, bro. Not a chance. You had to sit down real quick.
Yeah, it was tough.
Okay. I understand. I'll go on your 4-step next time. So.
And you know what? And the fact that Rem came up with the coffee bar idea doesn't surprise me. The fact you were like, yo, let's get a Mortal Kombat thing. Doesn't surprise me.
I'm a child. I'm still a child. Rem's the adult.
So Rem, what are some of the difficulties like in finding balance as far as trying to be an independent artist, but also still having to provide for your wonderful family that you have?
That's a great question.
I think the struggle, not the struggle, but the thing that I have to continuously tell myself is to not make excuses. Like there's no excuse. Like I can do it all. Like not in an ego way, like I can do it all, but it's like
if you put the effort in.
Right. If you put the effort in and you're not worried about sitting down to watch TV, or you're not absolutely obsessed and worried about scrolling and posting on social medias, we have enough time. I mean, sometimes that might mean sleeping 5 hours a night instead of 7 or 8 hours a night.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't like sleeping 7 or 8 hours a night because
it's a waste of time.
I'm big on that. I don't like going to eat at restaurants and sit down to eat because in my mind I could be working. It's a total waste of time. I don't like sitting on the beach with my wife for longer than an hour. She wants to sit there for 12 hours, and I'm like, we could be doing something.
You're doing a lot of things with this time.
So all the guys make fun of me anytime we do something. I'm like, I don't know. They're like, oh, it's a waste of time. Here comes Rem with the waste of time. But no, I think it took a long time, and it took a lot of help from this guy, and obviously all the help from the program that I work to make me believe that I'm even capable of to do any of it. So once I start to believe in myself, then I don't focus on the problem. I know it's a cliche. But I don't. I live my life with. I absolutely refuse to focus on the problem. I only focus on the solution. So that means that I have to go do a flooring job, and then we have a recording session or an interview, and then I have a meeting, and then I have to go out to eat after the meeting with my wife so she doesn't feel left behind. Then
do it.
Okay, it could be a problem if I let it be, but the solution is sit down and map out the time, and I think we both have the same drive as in, and I know for me, it was just in the beginning, achieving it once. It was the same thing I tell when I share my story about the first time I ever had drugs offered to me and put in my hand, and I turned it down. I was in prison, and someone got Suboxone, and it was a treatment thing behind the walls. So he didn't want anyone to snitch on him, so he gave one to everyone. He said, if everyone's high, nobody could tell. So he gave me a piece, and it was count time. And so I had to hold it while the guard came around and counted. But not being able to take it and act and put it in my body, I had to hold it for the amount of time, however long it took for him to count, gave me the opportunity to think about it. I'm like 34 years old. I've never had anything. I'm sitting in prison. Anyone who's ever known me has disowned me. And why would I do this? Like, why am I taking this program seriously during the day, and I'm willing to take this at nighttime? And I gave it back. And after count cleared, I gave it back. The hardest thing I had ever done in my entire life. Still to this day, probably the hardest thing that I ever had to do was take it, give it back, say I don't want it, and walk away. The walk away will always be burned in my memory, because my body and my mind was fighting with each other. Because I can remember many times I told myself I don't have to go cop, but I couldn't stop my legs from moving. And this time my brain was saying turn around and go get it, but I couldn't stop my legs from moving. They were walking in the opposite direction. And I went to bed that night, completely battling myself. And by the next morning I woke up and I said, holy shit, I did it. I can do it again. And it's the same thing with anything with music or anything that I want to build, or a job or a relationship. It's once I achieve it once, then I have no excuse. I can't tell myself that it's not possible.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like right before you came, I think it was one of Mike's questions, and I pretty much said almost the same exact thing.
No, REM said it cooler.
All right, this is over. But I said, because we were talking about like winning the contest in Connecticut or in Rhode Island with Macklemore and stuff like that, and like that was just another thing to tell me, like, if I can accomplish that, what else can I accomplish? And, yeah, we were talking about it in the beginning too, like what else can we accomplish? If I, it's looking at those small wins and knowing like, if I can accomplish this, what else can I accomplish? And continue to put the effort in.
And then, like I was saying, eventually the work becomes the fun.
Yes.
Like there is, I can't even explain the massive amounts of work that is behind the scenes that no one will ever see. The countless days and days and days of just research and planning and, reaching out to certain people to get like a consultation advice type of thing, or then there's so much stuff. But that stuff has become the fun, because now there's no doubt that it'll pay off. And today my life in recovery has taught me it's okay to put work in today that I know may not pay off for a year.
Exactly.
I want it instant.
Exactly.
Like for the longest time, I wouldn't order anything off of Amazon. Fuck that. If I'm spending money, I want it in my hand. I'm going to the mall. Like I couldn't wait. And
I was even in early recovery. I was like, yo, just order it. He's like, no, I'm just gonna drive. I'm gonna 45 minutes to the vape shop.
I want it now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I love something too, Brown, that you said there too, man, about the journey, right? Like, and also just those like accomplishing those small things, like it's so important in not just early recovery period, because like that's that dopamine shot that we've been missing, like that we've been getting from other places that whole time, like the sense of accomplishment and the sense of purpose, like does that naturally for us now, right? But then like the journey, like falling in love with the journey is what it's all about, you know what I mean? Like the steps to get there, because when it does pay off, you get to look back and be like, damn, like I put the work in for that, and like look at everything that's grown from this. Like look what this yields, like, and like that's the amazing part. And that's when we start to lose that that need for instant gratification, and like fall in love with the journey. And then like when you're done, you're like, I did that. Like, listen, guys, limit at this point. Like, what else can I do? Like, you know what I mean? And I know me personally, and I'm sure you guys, because you're very solution based too, and like I got to be striving towards something. Like I got to be doing something more. And then once I accomplish this, I got to do something. Like I'm ready to go take on something bigger. Like and that's what, because for me, if I'm not making progress, then I'm regressing. You know what I mean? Like if I'm not working on myself in something bigger and another goal, if I'm not working towards bettering myself, I'm working towards a relapse. Like it's that simple for me. You know what I mean? Like I got to keep.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is I used to be the worst, and still am with certain things in my life, but I try not to dread things. I try to just get up and do it, and get it, even the small stuff, the taking out the trash, I'm not gonna say washing dishes because my wife would kill me for lying, but you see where I'm going with that. But damn it, I'm scatterbrained. What the hell were we talking about?
The sky is not the limit when there's footprints on the moon.
Yeah,
that's a great verse.
That it, dude. Yeah. Okay.
What the hell were you just saying to me?
Words. You were saying words.
They were words, and they were usually put together in 3 to 4 letters. Hey,
just the journey. Just the journey.
Yeah, the journey.
You know what I mean?
When we look at
that's where I was going with that. It's back. It came back.
All right.
So sitting, I used to be a big procrastinator. I would sit and watch TV, right? And like I'm one of those people who watch the same thing over and over again. My wife said she's seen something that says that makes it's because you know the outcome, so it keeps you comfortable. I'm not sure if that's the truth, but I love Rocky. I want him to be my uncle, so I'll watch Rocky. I love Rocky. I love The Wire. There's certain things, but I literally cannot now today wake up in the morning, drink a coffee, and sit down and watch TV.
Yeah.
I get so depressed, and I absolutely feel like I'm doing something wrong, because now I have trained my body, and it's become second nature to put the work in towards something. Even if it's something, flooring. I hate doing flooring. It's something I have to do sometimes to pay the bills. But even that, like my body has trained now to like, it wants to put the work in. Sitting down idle and watching TV in the daytime, I get so depressed and have the most overwhelming feeling of doing something wrong that I think that's awesome, man, what this program has given me and what the whole process has given me, because I would have wasted my life away on a couch years ago.
Yeah, and I think mindset's huge for me. I'm huge on mindset, and just how you said it, like being able to do these things, because like we touched on earlier, like I'm sure all of us remember when we woke up, there was no choice. Like we knew what we needed to do, and we knew what had to be done to do it. And now it's like, we get that choice today, but flipping the script and just simply, like, one of the best ways I tell people, and I've heard from people, and it truly works, is like the little things are not getting caught up. Like, all right, damn, I have to go to work today. Like, no, you get to go to work today. You know what I mean? Like all these things, like just changing that, how you tell yourself, like, I have to do this, I have to do that. No, you get to, because we woke up today and God gave us another chance, another opportunity. And like, really, that just builds on gratitude, and like your whole mindset starts changing when you remind yourself that you get to do these things today that we did not get a chance to do before. You know what I mean? How free, and like that's true freedom right there to me. You know what I mean?
I mean, like I said, I went 18 years of heroin use. I honestly can't even calculate the weed and drinking, because I started at a young age with my uncle, and it was either like 7 or 8 years old I was drinking. I don't have it pinpointed down, but That was a long time, you know, of just focusing on drugs or drinking and sitting comfortable and watching TV or partying and making people laugh. You know, I was a people pleaser. You're upsetting me, sir.
I'm sorry, dude. Travis is sending me provocative text messages.
Okay.
So why is it gonna be me? You sent him to me first.
Mike's not sending me provocative text messages.
Dude, you wrote me and said I was sexy. I just asked if you wanted to be my toaster strudel, and then it went from there. All right, back to the questions. Rem, yeah. This is a well, it's semi-serious question, and it's only partially because I believe I do know the answers to these two questions, and I want to see if we link up. What was the craziest thing? And people are probably going to go the complete wrong way with this. What was the craziest thing you've ever signed at a show?
Ooh. Okay. Yes. So exactly what you guys are thinking. You'd be totally wrong.
Totally wrong. We don't do that.
I signed a baby, bro. Dude, I signed a baby that was like 2 days old, like a 2-day-old baby. I'm like, why is your baby at a concert 2 days later?
Why are you letting me write on it with a marker?
Like, not letting me, making me. Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to write on your 2-day-old baby.
No, we're just standing there, and I just hear Rem signing a baby.
No, because he's got this. And he's on stage. It's the end of the show. Everybody's piling up and they want to take pictures. And I could tell, frustrated. He thinks I'm just off doing whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Round one to the stage. And I'm just in the back there screaming, I'm signing a baby. Yeah, and I'm like, what?
And then I run over there because I have to see this. I'm like, there's no way. Because I saw him the glimpse of the infant thing. And I'm like, wait, that's like a really small baby. Rem might be writing on it right now. I need to go make sure that he's not writing on this baby. So I ran over there and he's like, I can't see. He's like signing its head. And I'm like, what is he doing right now?
It had a headband on, right? It had like a white headband. The mother was like, sign it right on the forehead. I'm like, yo,
what's up, B?
What up?
Yo?
Hey. Miss you.
Yes.
I love you.
I miss
love
you.
you.
And I love you too.
Oh, that's the homie right there.
So guys, let me ask you. So while we have you, you're both here now, and the concept behind your new project, I definitely want to touch on that real quick. B, you're wearing a hoodie now. I see the design there. Nobody special. So let everybody know what you guys are working on now, how they can get plugged in and help support the project. And also thank you for lifting the hoodie. That's fantastic. But also and also
getting tired because he's getting silly.
and just the meaning behind titling it Nobody Special, which I think is amazing, which is really, really cool.
And real quick, talk about the Discord, about how people can contribute to the project. Tell them what your vision is, where you want to go, what's going to be going on with this money. And also please let them know, you guys, I know Rem has been absolutely going crazy with the giveaways, the merch. He's literally shipping everything must go sale. Rem is just bumping that stuff up. You guys have already given away so much, but let them know about the Discord and let them know about the big raffle that's going on and how they have the opportunity to win a brand new Xbox or that PS5, dude, because both Mike and I backed the project.
Yes.
All right, yeah, absolutely. So first, before we get into that, I'm gonna need you to.
All right, I'm gonna be serious now.
I'm gonna need you to pay attention.
Settle the fuck down, B.
You're doing a great job, bro.
I'm gonna flick your tattoo. Oh no! All right, so we have to start at the beginning, right? So this was years ago. This was years ago. I used to say, dude, we should do a project. You know what I mean? And B was like, yeah, sure, hands down, best idea ever.
That's what I say when I'm not paying attention to him. Right. Hands down, best idea ever.
So, anyway, but it's been years in the making, and I mentioned the name Nobody Special about 2 years ago. And at the time, it just sounded like a cool name, right?
Yeah.
But I think for the same reason that we didn't work together on a project back then is the same reason I never used that name. The time wasn't right, and we didn't force it. Everything that's happened up until this point has brought us to a point where there was no question in either of our minds, like, yes, now is the time. We've both progressed in our ability as musicians. The sound quality is now amazing thanks to finally connecting with Casey Makes Music and Brightside Entertainment. And we felt like the time was right. So now we have been we've had situations over the last few years on the road where people after shows or even after meetings will talk and they'll want to know how, and they'll want to know advice on how they can be a musician or how they can get clean or whatever the question is. We always, because that's what people did for us when we started, took the time when we had questions and had no clue what we were doing, and they told us, they gave us their formula, you know. And so we're willing to give all the information we have freely. You want to know how to do it, here you go. But the answer at the end was always the same. Like, we're not special, bro. You can do that. Don't look to us like we have the answers. We just put the work in. Like, you know,
but that's the thing. Like, we give them the juice. I call it the juice. We give you the juice. It's up to you to put the work in. Because like we're not special. We just put the work in. And that's what you have to do, is just put the work in. If you're gonna ask the questions, we're gonna be here to support you and empower you and show you that you're just as capable of accomplishing your dreams as any of us on this, you know, interview are, or anybody that has accomplished greatness. It doesn't take you know, something special to be able to accomplish greatness. You just have to be willing to put the work
like you
in.
say all the time, like, people accomplish great things every day because of the values they have in their heart and their work ethic. And it doesn't take a special skill set necessarily. It just takes believing in yourself and being willing to work. You know, so that's kind of where the name came from. You know, and so now we get to this point where we want to do it. Well, we recorded a song. That's actually how we got it. We recorded a song called Windows Down over a year ago. And we still haven't released it because we're like, this song is so dope, it's not ready to be released yet. And then
very special song. Then
we happened to record another song, and then another song. We're like, we got 3 songs, bro. We should just, now is the time for Nobody Special, because we had never had. We like to sit on a handful of music and videos before releasing the first one, so we can follow it up. But and we've had collaborations, but never had we ever had
that
many songs that unreleased. So it was like, shit, we're almost there. Let's finish. And
so initially it was gonna be like a 5 or 6 track EP, and but we just like kept writing, and it was really cool to be able to continue to create and be like, yo, I got this one, and he'll hit me up like, yo, I found this one, and like, yo, this is my verse, and you know what I mean.
And some songs he'll write the hook, his verse and the hook, and some songs I'll write the verse and the hook.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like a song, and then like the idea came to like have the guys as a part of it. So the guys, as in like Kalichi, Joe Nestor, Casey Makes Music. You know what I mean. It kind of started with our title track called Nobody Special. We were in the studio
and Casey recording. Was like, yo, that beat is dope, can I jump on it? And it was like a no-brainer, even though it was the title track for the album, which initially was supposed to be ours. So some may have been like, I don't know if this is the song, it's the title track for our project, but there was like no question. Like, absolutely, bro.
And he's absolutely killed it. And then, you know, we were in there with Joe when Joe was recording his project, and we had a few different ideas. And so Joe laid down a hook and a verse and stuff, and it was like, well, we already have like Casey and Joe, like we gotta get a song with Chip on there. And it kind of like
Kalichi is Chip. We call him Chip.
My bad. With Kalichi on there, and it kind of brought the whole thing full circle as far as like Nobody Special, because it shows like like when like Rem was saying, when we're on tour, I feel like, you know, people kind of put us on pedestals. We have, you know, multiple years clean, and we're doing really cool things. And I think they're really cool things. They're amazing. But at the end of the day, like, I'm still a father. I'm still a husband and a friend. I'm still
an
a
addict.
recovering addict that has to do work, that still has shortcomings, that still is not perfect and will never be perfect. You know, we still got to put the work in to continue to grow. And so Nobody Special was birthed from that. And then we were sitting there one day and we're like, okay, well, we've depleted pretty much all of our funds on this bus. Like, how do we
Everything.
raise some money? How do we
Business account and personal.
Oh my gosh,
we were
dude.
just like, Eleanor was the vision, and we used to talk about it and say, we're building this. We didn't know COVID. They didn't have a handle on it. There was no vaccines yet. They were talking about, but we're like, the venues, it might take 3 years for this country to open up, and by then every venue is going to be bankrupt. We may never get to use this bus, but we didn't focus on that at all. It was like, this is the experience. If we build this bus from ground up and not get to use it for one show ever, I still won't regret it.
Absolutely.
And we dove in like that. But yeah, like he was saying, we were completely tapped out. And B had done a crowdfunding campaign years ago on his first album that he released, and it was successful. And we were afraid because the goal for that first one was like,
it's like $2,500 or something.
Yeah, a quarter of this goal. And he hit it, but we were afraid of people looking at that wrong. Like the first campaign was $2,500, and he did an album. Why did they need to raise 10 grand? And I think it's very easily explained in the fact that we are constantly trying to level up everything we do. So now we're doing our videos are out of this world, better quality. The production itself is out of this world. Our connections, the fact that we're not doing, not that we don't, but when we go on tour, we're not looking to go to your local park and do a show outside, which might cost a couple $100 to rent the park. Like, we want to go across the country and music venue first places and have them shut the bar down. So people feel like they're in an awesome music environment and it's safe. You know what I mean? There's not people walking through the crowd drinking. There's no one smoking weed. So we have grandmothers, we have children, people of all ages come. And so that's why, you know what I mean, that this goal went a little higher. Yeah,
well, because like as we level up in production and recording quality and, you know, collaborations and music videos, as well as, you know, upgrading the merch and like coming out with the line, like that is all a cost that goes into setting that goal and being able to market it properly. You know, and the marketing, I don't even think there was any marketing in the first campaign. It was literally just to be able to
record.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was paying like $20 an hour at a studio. Like, it was absolutely nothing compared to like the level of production and quality that's coming out of Brightside and stuff like that. And so that costs, and like, while
as it should,
as it absolutely should.
Casey is dumped, I mean,
50 grand.
Yeah, countless years. Countless years and an insane amount of money in the middle of quarantine to build his dream. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I know we're not is not the right word, but we believe in that so much that if anyone that's around us performing a certain, whether you have a camera in your hand or you're driving the bus or you're designing merch or you're designing logos
or you're selling merch,
we don't want anyone to do anything free. And not that it's all about the money, but when someone does something like that and you were a part of this, you matter, you get a cut. Here you go. Like, it makes everyone feel good, you know?
Absolutely.
And it makes people, you can want to come on the road with us and help all you want, but in reality, that's not feasible. Like, you have to pay your bills too, you know?
Right. And so like all that went into accounting for what the goal was. And it was very scary to put that out there. And so what we've done even a little bit before we hit the goal, but especially since we hit our goal, we've gone into like overdrive of being able to give back and like give back with like these huge, you know, $500 merch packages. We had an $800 package that we just gave away. I think yesterday we finally got it to the guy that won yesterday. You know what I mean, with like a Bluetooth wireless speaker and you know, another $500 worth of merch and stuff like that. And so what REM's insane idea is like, you know, we would like to be able to continue to push the project, continue, because the more funds that we raise means more music videos, means more marketing, means more advertising for the project, because not only is this some of the best, is this the best music that we've ever released, it's got an incredible message that like, so I feel like so many people could use to hear, you know what I mean? And like, I believe in the project so much, I literally got it tattooed on my head. Like, I'm not showing it to you because I just got it and it's under the plastic and stuff like that. And all, like, I literally got it tattooed on my head. You know what I mean? That's how much I believe in this project. And so what we came up with about a week ago was that, you know, we're going to give away either an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5, along with a merch bundle, along with whatever packages these people, you guys back. Because with every dollar amount, like, it's not a donation, it's not a GoFundMe or a charity or anything like that. I want everybody to know, and that's why we did it this way, is for every dollar, like, you're getting something. You're getting a hoodie, or you're getting a t-shirt, or you're getting a pair of custom Vans tennis shoes, or you're getting a live performance in your city, or you're getting autographed copy of the CD, or you're getting a hardback book that kind of takes you through our entire journey since the first day that we met, you know what I mean? And so with every package, you're getting something, you know, for this project, for supporting this project, for supporting us and bringing this project to life. And so what we wanted to do was like, okay, let's take it up a notch. Like we talked about before, we accomplished this. What can we do? You know, we want to continue to give back, because at the end of the day, like, music saves my life on a daily basis. And I'm sure Rem would agree that as well. Yeah. So like that, I love being able to be of service through doing what I love to do. But also being able to continue to give back and find ways. Like, sure, is an Xbox going to save anybody from getting high tomorrow? No, but it's fucking awesome to win shit.
Yeah. right.
And it's awesome. Someone could win that their child has been asking for it.
Yeah,
and it's really impossible to find.
Right.
Exactly. You know, like at least in our state, they're still sold out everywhere. And the second they come in, the bots buy them up online. And
we got the plug.
They're hard to find, but we got the plug.
So how do people enter?
Yeah, how do they get involved?
There, I saw, because I was watching the live until I got, you know, my ADD kicked in. And
you started sexting me, yeah.
But, I saw that somebody, actually Andrew Staken, had put the live in there. And the link, my bad, the link in the live.
But it's Indiegogo. If you go to the Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign page, I guess, you Google Indiegogo and you type in Nobody Special, the Nobody Special Indiegogo will pop up.
Yeah. Yep. So Nobody Special is a crowdfunding platform. They hold us accountable to make sure that everybody gets everything that we've said that they're going to get. And yeah, so that's what we did. And we're actually number 3 trending in music, and like they have categories like technology, movies, stuff like that. We're number 3 because of the support and the backing of the hundreds of people that have backed the project. We're number 3 in trending in their music category. We're
number 14 in arts and film.
Yeah, all of arts and film.
And it's crazy because Indiegogo is a huge platform. I mean, you have people on there that are raising $700,000 to like for some kidney transplant machine. Like this thing's huge. Everyone uses it, and for us to be trending on there is absolutely insane to me. And it's all due to the love and support that the people who believe in the message and believe in us continue to show. But Yeah, so all you have to do is go to the campaign, and for every $10 you spend, you get one entry into the raffle. The raffle will be announced on Facebook Live on both of B-Rain and REM One on Facebook on March 20th, 9 o'clock at
9
night,
p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
EST.
And yeah, so like if you go in and you get a $60 package, you get 6 entries into the raffle.
Yeah.
But if anyone listening plans on going to enter to win the Xbox or the PS5, I suggest doing it sooner rather than later. And the reason is we also have mini raffles from now until then to where we're giving out massive amounts of merch.
Yeah.
And so if you get it, if you enter the raffle today, your tickets are good for every raffle we have all the way up until then, we pick Xbox.
Yeah. And we've already done what two raffles since then. So we've already done 2 raffles and given away 2 merch packages, and their names stay in there for all the rest of the raffles and the Xbox merch package.
And the Discord, man. You get the Discord. You get invited to the Discord.
So a couple things. So we went to Philly to like meet one of the a fan that was in the Discord just for the day and like hung out. And then another guy, he celebrated his first year clean in New Jersey, and we drove up there to show up and support him. And like, I'm not saying that for like a pat on the back. I'm saying after that night, and like we were driving back, I think Rem was sleeping, maybe not. But I got home and I read the Discord, and like the amount of comments from people that were saying like, this Discord is something I didn't know I needed so badly in my life. Like it's a community that is in there. Not only is it a community of like-minded people in recovery, stuff like that, to support recovery, but it's also like of like-minded people that enjoy the same music. And like music is so connected. Like it's got this connection to the soul. And so when you're able to connect with people on the recovery tip and the music tip, like people have created friendships. Like we were talking about before
it's crazy. The 2 people that we went and seen, they, one from Philly and one from Jersey, they actually met up and went to a bonfire meeting together. Like, and didn't know each other. Before the Discord. Before the
Discord, they didn't know each other. Now they're like hanging out and like doing things in recovery. And like there's like a handful of people, you know, completely organic. We didn't say anything about it. They're like, yo, we're all going to the show in Indiana on June 5th.
And then we got people in the UK, people in New Zealand. We call her the time traveler lady because we're typing.
I think she's on the line. She was on the line.
Yeah, typing. We're typing, talking to Sarah, and she's like, not only is it tomorrow, it's like 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's still like tomorrow evening. Yeah.
And then you got Scott. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. Facts.
He snuck in there and just started raising all kinds of discontent.
It's Scott and Fish. Yeah, those are the 2 people that you have to, like the kids that you couldn't let play in the sandbox together.
Right? Because they always light something on fire.
Not because they would fight, because they would pick on everybody.
It's like, how did you light the sandbox on fire? Sand is not flammable.
No, I love what you guys are doing with the raffle too, because like, and if you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you guys check it out, because it's a win-win. Like, it's not like you're just donating money in hopes to, you know, be a winner of this raffle. Like, you're getting something in return, like regardless, you know what I mean? It's just, there's different packages, and that's what's so cool. Like, it literally goes up to the point where you can get a package and get a private concert. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And anything from even a few t-shirts, like you're getting something for your $1, and with the attempt of possibly, you know, winning something big, which is awesome. And you know, to be added to every raffle leading up to it. So yeah, that's awesome, man. And speaking of June, so you guys I know are going to be at Recover Out Loud 2021 in Indiana. As is Travis. I'll be there myself also with our nonprofit. So Travis is going to be there with Client for Recovery. I'm going to be there with Recovery Army Outreach Inc. We have a lot of people coming from across the country to join also to come. So it's definitely going to be an epic event, man. Definitely looking forward to that. And I assume you guys are going to be performing also, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Not only us, we're gonna have Joe Nestor, Kalichi, Kate Makes Music, B-Rain, Rem One, DJ Rocky Styles. We're gonna put on
Travis Gilbert,
hours and hours of music with, you know, all people who are in recovery, man. And I love it. What I love, and B was the first one to do it, and I adopted it after that, is when he gets on the mic, he does a song, gets everyone's attention. We get everyone to the stage. People are having the time of their lives, clean and sober. Like you never thought you'd jump around and enjoy something like clean and sober, especially when you're new. You know what I mean? But then he challenges everyone to get outside, hug the person next to you, talk to the person next to you, meet the person next to you. You can build a network right here. You can add to your network, I should say, right here, you know,
grow your network.
And to see the proof in that over the last few years is just reconnecting with people such as Travis. You know what I mean? Travis, the whole crew, Climb for Recovery. I mean, I can't even count how many times they have traveled to come to a show. And when you see something like that, you're like, man, I want to know these people's stories. And we've just become genuine friends over, you know what I mean, over that time.
Yeah, he actually met Braylee when I pulled her up on stage, and like they started talking, and he was like, "Yo, I'll be your dad," and she was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah, well, you know, and we have definitely gained like this authentic friendship. You know, I call you guys up if I see you hitting a milestone at your birthday, I'll text you. You guys text me back. You know, Christmas times, all that stuff. You know, but you know, we go to shows because we believe in you guys. You know, that money comes out of our pockets. I mean, we're flying out to Chicago, we're renting cars, we're driving to Indiana, and we're, you know, causing hate and discontent in your hotel room, and we're putting sticky notes on your bus, you know, or we're driving to Connecticut, or we've been to Soundstage. I mean, I've been to a lot of your guys's shows, or you know, you guys invite us down to the to Brightside, and we'll come down, hang out for the day. And you know, that's what is really, you know, it's those little things that really do separate you guys from so many people. I'm not saying that you guys do that with everybody, but like to allow me to witness like the behind the scenes things that people don't get to see, and it allows me to see your dedication in your heart. And that's why, you know, with Climb for Recovery, like we help back, you know, Eleanor. We've helped back the Indiegogo. We've helped sponsor the Mount Rushmore video, and you know, like,
and the Nobody Special video, boy.
Yes,
he asked me about that. He was like, "How's Lowe's doing with the video?" I'm like, I don't know.
The video is not dropping until right before the album, but it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, you know, and you guys called me. I mean, Rem, it was you. You were like, "Yo, you know, like we got this video. You know, we'd love for you guys to help us be a part of that." And it was like, it's a no-brainer. I was like, yeah, man, all right, whatever I need to do, you know. And you know, you guys are such an inspiration to so many people. And you know, it's important for what you guys are doing to get out there. And it's not for clout and fame, but it's because there's someone literally out there right now in a dire situation, whether it's a toxic relationship, whether it's drugs, whether it's mental awareness, that, like B was saying, music connects people. Music inspires people to change. Music, you know, like you said, you wanted Rocky to be your uncle because, dude, Rocky's a bad motherfucker, you know? And once that anthem starts going, it's like, dude, I used to tie a pillow on my bunk bed and be like, dan, 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 and just literally, dude, like, you know, like that's, you know, it was freaking Rocky. But what you guys are doing is amazing. If I knew how to actually pin the link in the comments, I would have done that at the beginning of the show. But
Mike's the only one that can pin it.
Yeah. So it's
shame on you. You disrespect me in front of my friends.
Hey, so it's being So Andrew's sharing it a lot right now in the comments for the project, and for also Recover Out Loud 2021, which also has a Facebook page. You guys can check it out, Recover Out Loud 2021, for that event, June 5th in Napanee, Indiana. It's gonna start at noon, and that's what I'm talking about. It's awesome because it's a family event, and like that type of thing, and making it that environment is what helps us chip away at the stigma, right? like having children involved, having, you know, family members involved, and recovering out loud, and showing people like the fun that we do have, the people that we truly are, not who we used to be. And some things that we may have did along the way, like we do change. And, you know, it's important for all levels to see that, you know, from children to adults to grandparents, like you name it. And I know there's going to be NA, AA, Celebrate Recovery, there's going to be dunk tanks, there's going to be teen education, there's going to be Narcan training, like just a well-rounded event for everything and everyone, man. So definitely looking forward to being part of that, which is going to be incredible. But you guys are for sure an inspiration, man, not just to myself, but I think to a lot of people, everybody listening out there, and this guy Travis down here, and so yeah, like I said before, man, you guys are part of personally my go-to, man. You know, the whole crew of guys, all you guys, you know, like music wise, because you know I need music with a message, and that's what you guys deliver every time. So I'm fortunate to be able to you know, not just listen, but to have you guys on here and be a part of the show, man.
Are they frozen? Please tell me they're frozen. I hope B's frozen.
Yeah, they're froze this time.
Dude, let's look at them. What do you think they're thinking about as they're frozen right there? Rem's like, oh, B, you have such pretty eyes.
No,
B's
he's saying,
like, oh, Rem.
yeah, he's like, look at your full job.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. You see the mess that you put on over there for me? I don't know if we're going to get him back, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
So listen, there
well,
they go.
There we go. All right.
Listen, so if you guys don't know, please listen. Both of them have Facebook pages. B Rain, Rem One. Go over to their pages, give them a like. Check out the Indiegogo project that they got going on. Remember, it's not a fundraiser. Well, it's not a GoFundMe. You're not giving away free money. There are packages that you can purchase for a Nobody Special hoodie. You can get the book that's got pictures from the Macklemore event. I've even heard I'm in the book. I've heard I'm in the book. And you know, you can get sticker patches, music patches, hoodie packages, all that stuff. You know, go over to their pages.
I don't know.
And dude, I was just giving your final pitch.
You were just in the coffin, bro?
Yeah. I saw an X up by B's head, and I was like, I wonder what happens if I hit this.
No, it came up on my screen and said, you have unstable internet connection. I'm like, no, Travis, what did you do?
I forwarded that link you sent me.
God damn, every time.
So yeah, so if you guys, you know, want to end it off, I know you guys are busy. I was just plugging the pages, telling people how to go and find the project that you guys are doing. I was telling people how it's not a GoFundMe. You're not begging for money. You guys are saying, hey, listen, man, you can get music patches, packages. You got merch packages. You got a book. Am I still in the book? Did I make the second edit of the book?
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Where's the book?
You're in. That's not the second edit though, but you're in it a few times, bro.
Yeah. You know, so
you're in it more than Scott, by the way.
Well, dude, it's Scott, dude. Scott ends up in like Appalachian Mountain. Have you seen Sasquatch books?
No, wait, it's backwards.
Nah, I want to thank you guys for having us on here, man. Real. Especially waiting around for me to get here.
So I do need to put this out there. So because I've been begged to ask the question relentlessly right now on a live, and it goes to Travis actually. So you know, and Travis, you know, most of the listeners know I just had surgery like 2 days ago. And yesterday was a world full of pain, man. But just like you were out there today, Rem, sharing a message and then still getting here, like we gotta dress up show. Like the show must go on, right? Like we can actually be dependent on today. So there's no excuse for me not to be here. You know, I'm physically present. I have breath in my lungs, so I need to be here. So you know, so the question is, Trav, what is your, you know, I don't even know how to phrase this, but what is your new profession, or how did you get into to surgery if you'd like to.
Dude, I have many professions, dude. I am music producer. I have a KC Makes Music OnlyFans page that I make hella cash from. I do all kinds of things, yeah. But the second they put you out, I decided to go in the surgery room, and I was like, "Yo, this dude needs breast implants." And I picked up a knife, dude. I gave you a nice C cup.
Yeah, they're very and so just so everyone knows, they're very uneven. One's larger than the other. You know, but he did leave me some like you know, thumb size orangutan nipples to fondle with. So thank you for that. So you know, it's not all bad. So
you gotta get it started somewhere. You know,
yeah, right. So you didn't do too bad. I'm alive. I'm here, so it's okay.
And I didn't have any silicone or whatever they put in it, so I used fluff.
Yeah, nice.
Much more cost effective that way.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Right. And this is the first time in your life you've ever been called a snack.
On that note, all right. So I hope that pleased some people listening. So yeah, there it is, right there. There is the book.
This is right there.
Yeah.
He's
a little baby.
He's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Right there.
Yeah. And then in the revised version, there's like 2 more pictures with you in it. Also,
Recovery Mike, fun story. We were at a concert once, and there was this girl, and her daughter's massive REM 1 fan, and she wanted a FaceTime birthday shout out, right? So REM gets up and he's like, "Yo, happy birthday!" And the little girl's like, "You ain't REM 1, you're Travis, right?" Did it say something like that?
Yeah.
oh my
Dude,
god,
I have the worst luck with that. So since we're telling more stories, check this out. Check this out. So look, yes, that actually happened, right? And that's, I think that's where we came up with, oh shit, we kind of look alike. So, but also, I was at a show. Well, Connecticut. You were in Connecticut, like 500-600 people. I mean, the place was packed. I'm on stage. Everyone has performed. It's the end of the night. We never go back in the green room and hide. We always come down. We always hug everyone. We talk to everyone. That's what the purpose is, to bring people together. So why would we run when our set's done? Right. But and this lady is like, "Oh my God, you did amazing. My friends are not going to believe I met you. Can I have a picture?" And I'm like, "Sure." You take a picture. I talk to her. We end the night. I go back to the hotel room. I open up Facebook. It's her page. She has a picture of me and her, and she says, "Oh my God, I met Kalichi." So then we're in Connecticut at Brightside Entertainment doing the live stream concert, which you came to, and Scott is like, "Here, talk to my daughters." And I get on the phone and I'm like, "What's up?" And Scott's like, "You know who that is?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's Kalichi." I'm like, I just gave the phone back. Like, here you go.
Yeah, or REM, or when you were talking to Mikal, you're like, "Hi, Mikal," and she's like, "Where's B Rain?"
Yeah.
I want to talk to B Ray. Oh
man. Well, guys, listen, I don't want to hold you too long. We've been on for quite. Thank you for spending so much time with us tonight, man. I'm super grateful, man. And let's do it again, man. Once the project drops and everything, man, let's definitely catch up. And you know, guys, like I said, please go visit Indiegogo. You know, get into the raffle, get yourself some gear, and get a chance to win that Xbox or that PS5 too. You know, you never know. Like Rem said, you never know. It might be somebody that truly needs it. You know, for a child that wants it badly. So I love what you guys are doing, continuously inspiring, spreading the message of hope. So thank you so much, guys. I greatly appreciate you. So, and also, man, I can't wait till we all connect in June. It's gonna be amazing, man.
Yes,
down there in
I'm
Indiana.
gonna shit out of your ass.
Yeah.
He's not joking. He's gonna
Dude, no, I told
uncomfortable.
Mike, what did I say about B Rain's hugs?
Very uncomfortable. They go about 10 seconds past uncomfortableness.
So,
yeah. No, maybe I think he said 15.
Don't listen. Don't let he knows you, but he hasn't met you. He's gonna hug you for 10 minutes because everything he wants to say to you, he's just gonna do it while he's hugging you.
Yeah, we're just
And
gonna
he's gonna whisper in your
Whisper
ear,
in
bro.
your
It's
ear.
Yeah,
gonna
a
get
whole
creepy.
a whole conversation just embrace.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just do a
Yeah.
whole podcast while we're hugging.
Yeah.
We're gonna
He will
share
hug
the
you.
same clip on mic.
Yes.
Dude, the first thing he's gonna say to you when he hugs you, he's gonna hug you. He's gonna whisper in your ear, and he's gonna say, "I could have put better tits on you, Mike."
Yes.
No, it's
dude.
crazy. When I came around, I remember the first time I hugged you. The first time, because we had talked online, and
Right.
he booked me for a show, and we met, and I jumped out of my truck, and he hugged me, and I'm like, man, this is really uncomfortable. Why is this guy hugging me so long? But I'm with B so much now. I've been all over at meetings, and it's funny is people who know you through music always comment about the hugs, and in the rooms, I've heard so many people share about their first time walking into the rooms and they got a hug from you, and how weird it was, but how much it wasn't. How much
It's
it wasn't.
genuine.
Yeah, and memorable. It leaves an imprint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah,
guy
that's
that's
awesome.
my sponsor, that's been my sponsor since day one, not day one, like day 3, but like he gave me one of those hugs and he talked to me in my ear, and like I was in the city, this little white kid fresh out of rehab in the city. He's an older, big gorilla black guy. He's like huge, way taller than me, and like he like just embraced me, and it was uncomfortable because I just spent the last 2 years in jail. But it felt like I was right at home. Like I needed that hug.
Yeah.
I felt the connection, the spirit, the soul. Like it was just, I needed that. You know what I mean? And so like, just like Rem said, a lot of people have said that about my hugs, but that's because that's what I was given. That's it was like this unconditional love. Like, hey, with this hug, you will know that I have been in the same places that you've been. Like I needed the love the same way you need the love, and I'm here to give it to you through standing right beside you through whatever you're going through the storms, through the good times. You know what I mean? And so that's what I try to do. Yeah.
I'm just so happy you just shared that.
Yeah.
Because now I know you stole the hug. I won't feel so bad about stealing it from you. I'm like, I hug people and I'm like, I gotta let go. That's B Rain's hug.
No, it was all Will's hug. It was Will. But yeah, because like I said, I don't want to say I'm not original, but like I'm not, like a lot of the stuff is why you hear cliches all the time in recovery groups and programs and stuff like that, is because like it's all regurgitated. Sure, it originated somewhere, but like we're not anybody special. Like we just like continue to give back what was freely given to us, and that's why we try to carry that in all areas of our lives. Just to find the ways that we can give back what helped. I want to give back what helped me. I can't give back what didn't help me stay clean, because what's the point of that? I'm going to give back what helped me stay clean, what helped me continue to get through 1 day and 2 days and stuff like that. Because like it doesn't matter how much clean time somebody has, they had 1 day clean too.
Right.
Yeah. So not alone.
I love you guys.
Love you,
Love you
man.
guys.
It's great meeting you, Mike.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And also just before we head out. So my mom is in the chat right now. Travis, she wants to know if you're jealous yet that you didn't get your nipple pineapple yet.
Yeah, so you guys missed an episode, man. But yeah, pineapples have nipples, apparently.
Yeah,
but Mike's mom brought him.
Pineapple not have a nipple on it.
Yeah.
It's a pineapple on a skateboard. He's got no nipples.
Dude, Mike's mom sent him over a full pineapple. And what did she use for pineapple nipples?
So the one episode we were talking about, for lack of a better term, I used the word nipple, the thorns that come off of the nipple, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what they're called. So I called them nipples. So that was like,
you called them a nipple.
Yeah. So it turned into this thing on the episode a couple back. And so my mom comes to visit the other day, last week or so it was, I believe. And she's like, I got a gift for you. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. Close your eyes or whatever. So she's like, all right, open your eyes. And there it is, a pineapple on my table. And she used caramel nips. and put them all over with Cocoa Puffs on top of it to make nipples all over the pineapple.
Yes, dude. Oh,
It was
He's got a
great.
picture of it, dude.
Yeah, so if you
Sick.
check the Facebook page, you'll see the story
Absolutely.
behind the pineapple nips. It's on there as a post.
Yes, Mom, I want my pineapple nipples.
Yeah, so there you go. You heard it here first. He does want his pineapple nipples. Guys, all right. On that note, guys, I don't keep you too long, guys. Thanks for so much for spending so much time with us tonight, man. Can't wait to catch up again. So we are going to log off. Everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight live on Facebook. Thanks for your comments, your questions, everything. And stay tuned for episode 6. You never know what's going to happen. You know, we don't script anything. We don't edit anything. We don't filter anything. It's just real recovery and real talk here. So
Nothing but bad internet connection here, son.
that too, and that too, and that too. Yes, basement connection. Yeah. So stay blessed, everyone, and take care of yourself. God bless you. Have a good night and better tomorrow. We love you guys.